Hello, welcome to Yoga with Adriann White at the Community Arts Center of Cambria County. Thanks to all the folks who are joining us live today, as well as those of you who are joining us through the Community Arts Center's YouTube channel. Today, we're going to really focus on lots of nice, gentle stretches, a little bit of strength to help us get into position, but the biggest focus is on just lengthening the muscles and moving our joints to maintain our flexibility and our range of motion. So at this time, I invite you to find whatever is your comfortable position. If you want to lay back on the mat, what we call corpse pose, allowing your body to just settle in, letting your shoulders roll back. Maybe open your arms out to the sides, 6 to 18 inches away from the sides of your bodies. Noticing to the points of your shoulders drift back into the mat. And as we let our head, our shoulders, the entire body just soften and relax into the support of the floor. Allow your thoughts to begin to slow down. Allow your breath to begin to slow down. You're here where you want to be. You've brought your physical body here. So now bring your attention and all of your focus to here and to yourself. This next hour is all about you. So in the gentle darkness behind those closed eyelids, scan through your body from head to toe, checking in with the various muscles, checking in with the various joints, and to notice what you find. Notice where your body's relaxed and at rest. And then notice where you may feel any tension, any tightness, any soreness. Each breath in, if possible, is through the nose, filling our lungs. And then each breath out is an opportunity to release that tightness, that stiffness, that soreness that you may feel. So that gradually and gently, breath by breath, you feel the stresses of the day and maybe of the preceding days gradually just fading away until you feel as if you are floating effortlessly, floating easily on your yoga mat, at rest and at peace. Slow, smooth inhales. Slower, relaxing exhales. Noticing, do your thoughts begin to quiet? Do your emotions begin to calm down and become more peaceful? And does everything just seem to go, ah? Take another minute or two enjoying this peacefulness that you have created. And as we continue with our long, slow breaths, if you're not currently resting flat to the mat in corpse pose, if you're sitting instead, let's bring ourselves to our reclining position. And today, we'll do some stretches for upper back and shoulders by inhaling to reach both arms straight up to the sky. Fingers spread wide, and we lift those fingers as high as we can, noticing how in raising our arms and reaching upward, we're raising our shoulder blades away from the mat, creating a great big stretch across our upper back. Another big breath in, And then on your exhale, drift those arms out and down to your side, shoulder high, resting the backs of the arms and the hands to the mat. And now noticing how we get to open through the front of our chest, the front of our shoulders. Just feeling your body settling into the support of the floor. Lots of room for the ribs to expand. Again, we'll do that stretch, inhaling to reach both arms up. Notice hands are above the heart rather than beyond the head. And we can either lace our fingers or hold our wrist. And now let's gently rock our weight over to our left shoulder blade. And then switch and rock our weight over to our right shoulder blade. And we'll continue gently, smoothly rocking left and right. And as we hold our hands above our heart, our arms are not moving in the shoulder socket. Our arms are still. It looks as if our hands are traveling across the ceiling simply because of our weight shift. Hands remain in line with your heart. And notice as we rock from side to side, can we walk our shoulder blades a little wider apart, creating more stretch between the shoulder blades? And as we rock, are we gently kneading out? Are we gently massaging out any tension or tightness across our upper back? Rock gently side to side across the head, noticing I'm not turning my head or my neck, but as my weight shifts, if I keep my neck straight, I'm rolling gently across the back of the head as well. We'll do one last time to each direction, and then we'll come back to center. And again, on a breath out, let your arms drift out and down to the ground, shoulder high. And we get an even deeper stretch in the front of our shoulders and in our heart center. Maybe we even feel a little stretch in our lower ribs and our belly area. Notice how good the stretch feels. And then from here, we'll bend our knees, putting both feet flat to the floor, about hip width apart. Now, can you let the small of your back come to lay flat to the mat? And I find that in order to do that, I actually need to create a little more length between my shoulder blades and my hips. So sometimes we need to sort of move our shoulder blades or our hips. And now with our feet hip width apart, let's inhale, rolling to the right edge of each foot. Okay, so that'd be the little toe edge of the right foot, the big toe edge of the left foot. And as knees sink to the right, head turns right. On our breath out, we gently roll back to center. On our inhale, we roll to the left edge of each foot, knees sink left, head turns left. And on the exhale again, we come back to center. So that was one set. Can we do that 3 more times each side? Notice how the front of the torso lengthens as we roll and breathe in. And notice how we use strength in the sides of the neck and the abdomen to pull us back to center on the exhale. Nice, slow, smooth movements. The speed of our movement coordinates with the speed of our inhales and our exhales. And we can feel the stretches in the sides of the neck and the ribs through the fronts of the shoulders and the belly. When you've done your last set, let's come back to center. And from here, we'll bend our elbows so that our fingertips point to the wall beyond our head. Now, if you find that it's difficult to have the backs of your hands or your forearms resting to the mat, particularly if you have any tension or injury in shoulders, if your hand is up, be welcome to support that hand by putting a yoga block or a rolled up towel or a book beneath the hand for support. We're going to do a little work for lower back with exhale pose. So the small of our back is to the mat. While our feet are to the floor, we'll do our inhale. On our breath out, use your abdominal and quadricep muscles to pull both knees up to the chest and gently curl your tailbone to the ceiling. On your inhale, we slowly return those feet to the mat. Again, abdominal and quadricep muscles working. One breath is one set. Let's do 3 more. Exhaling to draw the knees up, curling the tailbone up. Inhaling to return our feet to the mat. As we do our last 2 sets, notice the length in lower back and glutes, the muscles in your buttocks. And then as we inhale to return our feet to the floor, notice how the small of your back arches and the front of the abdomen lengthens. We'll do our last set. And then from here, just take a moment and again let the small of your back rest to the mat. We can open our knees out to the side walls, letting the soles of our feet rest together. This is called reclining bound angle pose. And again, we're just relaxing into the mat, allowing gravity to do the work of opening our knees. If you find that it's an uncomfortable stretch for your hip socket or your inner thighs, again, be welcome to support that leg by putting a yoga block or a rolled up pillow or towel underneath either or both legs. Now notice, where's your tailbone pointing? Right now, we have a very natural little arch in the small of our back. Can we gently think of pressing our belly button towards our backbone, noticing how that may gently reduce some of the back bend, and we're trying to point our tailbone to the wall beyond our big toes. How does that affect what you feel in inner hips and inner thighs? When you're ready, on a breath out, we'll return our feet flat to the mat. Again, small of the back to the mat as well. And now let's go ahead and bring our arms back down by our sides, palms down. We're going to do a little work for the fingers, the hands, the toes, and the feet. As we breathe in, we lift the toes, the fingers, the thumbs, keeping the balls of our feet, palms of our hands to the mat, stretching through the palms and our arches of our feet. On your exhale, squeeze your fingers, your thumbs, your toes underneath, and release. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhaling to stretch by lifting fingers, thumbs, and toes. Exhaling to squeeze under, and release. As we do our remaining 4 sets, notice as you squeeze fingers, thumbs, and toes under, do your abdominals gently squeeze? There's no correct answer, simply notice. On this next squeeze, notice, do your glutes, the muscles in your buttocks, gently squeeze? Sometimes parts of our bodies work in sympathy with what other parts are doing. So notice what works where and when. And we'll do our last set, gently inhaling to lift up, and then exhaling to squeeze under. And when you're ready, release. And one more time, we'll open knees out to the sides, our reclining bound angle pose. Again, gently engage abdominals so tailbone's pointing to the wall beyond your toes. If you feel safe doing so, an option would be to rest the hands against those inner thighs, seeing if we can add a little more stretch. seeing if we can help those knees sink just a bit lower. Remember, we're using our long, slow exhales to gradually let any tension or tightness that we may be feeling fade away. Feeling ourselves melting into a puddle on our mat. From here, we can release the hands. And as we bring our feet back to being flat to the mat, we'll do a little outer hip, a little outer thigh stretch. We'll do that by crossing the left knee over the right, opening arms out shoulder high, a spinal twist. We want our legs completely together so that there's no gap between our legs. And then on our exhale, we'll roll onto our right side, letting our knees sink as low to the ground as we can. Now on your next breath out, can we try to pull those knees up as close to your right elbow as your body will let you go. Now, since our legs went to the right, notice your right knee is hooked over your left calf. And is that right knee weight helping you sink that left inner calf and knee towards the mat? We're trying to let our arms and our shoulders be as close to horizontal to the floor as we can. If it's too much, stretch across the front of your left shoulder. Bend the elbow, resting the hand to the shoulder. Or if that left arm is off the floor, again, be welcome to support the arm with a pillow, a yoga block, a rolled up towel. Now, since our knees went to the right, to continue the twist from our tailbone all the way up to our spine, can we gently turn our head to the left? Let's make sure our left hand is in line with our shoulders. So as you turn your head left, if you see that your left hand is up by your forehead or your ear, slide that left arm back down in line with your shoulders. How's the stretch through the front of the left shoulder? Through those left ribs. Are you feeling any stretch in the left side of lower back or glutes? Are we feeling any stretch out the outside of our left thigh? Now, two choices to come out. The more challenging choice is to keep the legs crossed and on an exhale roll back to center. The option that's a little less stressful for lower back is to uncross the legs, stacking left knee on top of right, and then exhaling to roll back to center. And uncross the legs if you haven't already. And again, we'll return our feet to the floor. Let's extend through the legs, pointing our tailbone to the wall beyond our heels. Notice, what if any difference do you experience between left and right halves of your body? Does one leg seem to feel a little longer than the other? Does one shoulder blade seem to take up more room than the other? There are no correct answers. You are simply noticing how what you did affects how your body feels. We'll reverse our spinal twist, again bringing our feet flat. So now we can cross our right knee over our left so that our legs are together. And this time on the breath out, we roll over onto our left side. Again, trying to let arms and shoulders remain as horizontal as possible. Now, when we first roll over, we may have a big arch in the lower back. And that's why we use the exhale of our breath to pull those knees up as close to your left elbow as you can. Because in the process, now we're releasing that arch to create a little more length in our lower back. So while our legs go left We finish our spinal twist by turning our head to the right. Again, we're looking to make sure that we have a nice straight line from right wrist through the shoulders and out the left arm. And to notice, is this the side that twists more easily? Or is this the side that feels a little stiffer or tighter? Again, no correct answer. Just notice how the two sides of you or body are working today. And remember, nice slow inhales, feeling that stretch in the front of the chest and the shoulders. Feeling the ribs expanding as we breathe in. Feeling the lengthening in lower back and through the buttocks and out the outside of that right thigh. Again, your choice. You can roll back to center with legs crossed, keeping the knees to the chest. Or you can uncross the legs and roll to center. When you're ready, well, if you haven't already, we'll uncross both legs. And this time, let's lift flexed heels to the ceiling. We're trying to let the small of our back lay to the middle. And if your abdominal or quadricep muscles are having a little trouble supporting the legs, to keep your heels above your hips, by all means, put your hands behind your thighs. Or if you have a yoga strap handy, you can loop your strap around the backs of the thighs, using your strap as an extension of your arms to help support your legs. Now for a little more length, let's push up with the heels and point down with the toes. Again, noticing the small of your back resting easily, effortlessly to the mat. If you're feeling strain in lower back, definitely use hands or yoga strap to help support your legs so that we do not strain through lower back. Let's add another different stretch to inner hips and thighs, and that would be a straddle. You can continue to keep your strap behind your thighs. Some people prefer to put their strap around the balls of their feet if they're using it. And on the inhale, let's open those legs out to a giant letter V. Now, if your legs open wider than your strap reaches, notice I've extended through my arms so that the shape of my arms mirrors the shape of my legs. I'm maintaining the length in the backs of the legs by continuing to push up with the heels, continuing to point down with the toes. As I'm also noticing the stretch in the inner thighs, the hip sockets. And in your body, notice, does this inner hip and inner thigh stretch feel different than when we had our knees bent in reclining bound angle? They're both inner hip, inner thigh stretches. But because our posture's different, we may find that they benefit us differently. When you're ready, on an exhale, let's bring our legs back together at the ceiling. We'll bend the knees. If you're using a strap, go ahead, set it aside. And now from here, let's carefully roll to one side so that we can use hands and arms to bring us up to a sitting position. As we sit in our good posture, we'll extend our legs, seeing if we can point tailbone down. And then as we sit tall, stack hips, shoulders, and ears. Okay? From here, we'll do ankle cradles. So as we keep right leg extended, can we support the left ankle? Just gently rock that left leg side to side. So we're moving the leg bone in the hip socket. Now, let's notice what changes as we gently try to rock that leg a little higher, little higher, a little higher. Go to the point where you're like, that's my safe limit. And now just stay there, holding the leg still. Can we have left arm support left leg? And now can we use our right hand to gently curl our toes to the knee and then reverse and gently curl the toes under. And we'll repeat. So abdominal muscles are working hard to help us sit up nice and tall. Bicep muscles in the left arm may be working hard to help us hold that leg up. And now right hand is helping us move our toes so that we can create stretching and squeezing in the arches of our feet. We had a request for some stretches to help us reduce the discomfort of plantar fasciitis in the feet. So anything that we can really do to stretch the toes and the arches of our feet can help us reduce some of the discomfort of that plantar fasciitis. When you're ready, let's release the toes. We'll gently rock that left leg back down. And now we'll put our left foot to the floor inside the right leg, making sure that we're sitting tall. Let's get our yoga strap. You can use a necktie or a nice soft belt out of a bathrobe. We'll loop our strap around the ball of our extended right foot, and we'll hold both ends of the strap in our right hand. We are going to do side body stretch, forward bend, and spinal twist all in one. So inhale to sit tall. On your exhale, rotate through the waist, turning left. Now I'm going to bend at the right hip, like I'm bringing my right shoulder down to my right knee. My right elbow goes inside the right thigh, and I'm trying to turn point of left shoulder up to the sky. So I have the forward bend at the hip, which gives me the gentle stretch in the back of that right leg. I have the spinal twist through the waist. Now, if you would like, if shoulder permits, inhale left arm up to the ceiling. And then on your breath out, will your shoulder allow you to extend your left arm past your left ear, pointing to those right big toes. So now we get some left rib and side waist stretch. Maybe a little bit of stretch in the lower back and glutes. Remember, we are breathing. And if you'd like, relax your neck as if you're sinking the right ear towards the point of your right shoulder. Remember, you are reaching to the degree that works for you. And then when you're ready, let's inhale, come on back up. And on the exhale, we relax the arm and we turn back to center. We'll gently set our strap aside. And once we extend that left leg to sit in our neutral position, again, I invite you to close your eyes and notice where you feel differences between left and right halves of your body, from left ear down through the neck, all the way down to your heels. Okay? When you're ready, we'll keep left leg extended, and now we'll do our ankle cradle with our right foot, gently supporting the leg. And we'll just start low, moving that leg back and forth, getting comfortable with the leg bone moving in the hip socket. In yoga, we do a number of things to keep our hips limber, because our bodies were originally designed to be very active. If we think back in our primitive history, people did a lot of walking to get places. They did running. Later, we started riding horses. Again, you needed a lot of openness in the hips to do that. As our lifestyles become more sedentary and we don't move our hips as much, it creates tightness. Now let's start to rock a little bit higher. And that tightness in the hips can gently lead our pelvis to be out of even alignment. And that can create discomfort in our lower back. Once we've reached our level of comfort and safety, now go ahead and let your right arm support the right leg. Left fingers help us bend the toes back towards the right knee, and then gently curl the toes under. You can go ahead and point the toes and the foot back to the knee. You can point the toes and the foot away. Okay? So you can also add movement to the ankle, which we did not do to the other side, but it's another option to help you have a little movement. Remember, we're still breathing as we're sitting tall, as those abdominals are working hard. And then we'll go ahead and let that right foot come to rest. We'll gently rock the right leg back down to rest our right foot against the inside of the left leg, whether it's at your calf, your knee, your inner thigh. You do what works for you. And then again, we'll loop our strap around the ball of the left foot so that we can do our forward bend, spinal twist, and crescent moon. So as left hand holds the strap, we exhale to turn right. We bend at that left hip to bring our left elbow inside the left thigh. We can push against that left leg to keep our heart center turned to the right wall. And then we can inhale right arm up to whatever degree that your shoulder permits. And if possible, extend right arm past the right ear, pointing towards our left toes. Remember, this is a twist, so you want your heart center facing the side wall, not down to the ground. Turning our chest up and out. Be welcome to relax the neck, letting the whole left side of your head, left ear, sink to your left shoulder. If you feel that you'd like a little more stretch, be welcome to point those left toes back towards your ear. Some of you may find that it's possible that those right fingers could touch the left toe. Some of you may find that you're better off just letting the fingers wave at the toe. Again, you do what is safe for your body. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll come on back up. And we exhale to bring the arms down. We'll set our strap aside and we'll gently come back to center. Again, I invite you, as you have your good posture, to close your eyes and just take a moment contrasting. What, if any, differences do you find between left and right half of your bodies? We tried to work each side equally. Do they feel equal? Or are there still differences from one side to the other? Again, remember, no proper answer. You are simply observing what is. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and gently come over to our knees. We're going to curl the toes under. Hands and knees is also known as table pose. We're going to inhale to reach our tailbone back towards our heels. Maybe letting forehead sink to the floor, a variation of child's pose. And then exhale, pull with the fingers and push with the toes to lift to downward facing dog. On an inhale, we'll come forward to our plank pose. On an exhale, we'll gently lower the knees down. Again, inhale, sink back into your child's pose with toes still curled under. Big stretch for the arches of the feet, through the ribs and the shoulders. Exhale, pull forward and push up to your downward dog. Notice how our heels sink in our downward dog and we're losing a little the stretch in the arches of our feet. Gaining instead stretch in the calves. Again, we'll inhale forward to our plank pose. And then we'll exhale to come back down. Let's do this combo one more time. Big stretch through the arches of our feet. Exhale, pull yourself out and push up to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. This time on the breath out, we are again going to push up and back to our downward dog. Now, can we look up to the hands and on our breath out, step the left foot up between the wrists? Not everybody feels good about doing this in one big step. So if you try to come up and you're stuck about here, that happens. So simply bring the right knee down, and then you can use the left hand to walk that left foot forward so that we end up with our knee and our ankle in a nice straight line. Here's where if you have longer legs than arms and you can't reach, please don't bend your knuckles backwards. Invest a few dollars, yoga blocks, so that now we lengthen the arms so that once we lift that back knee, we can roll our shoulders back. It really helps us open up the chest to be able to breathe. Helps us have a nice long line of the spine. Can you add a little backwards push of that right heel? We're going to turn this into extended side angle. So take your back foot, gently turn it sideways and flat. Now your left hand can stay to your yoga block. If you have longer legs than arms, feel free to place the middle of your left forearm across that left thigh. And now we're going to inhale, point of our right shoulder up to the sky. Right ribs turn up. If you'd like, you can reach right arm up from the shoulder, or you can extend the right arm across the ear. Good. We're breathing. From here, legs are strong. We're going to keep legs and feet as they are, and we are going to inhale to float our torso up into Warrior Two. Okay, so again, we still want our knee above our ankle. Now, I like to engage my abdominals, which is push my belly button to my backbone. I also like to engage my glutes, which is squeeze my butt cheeks together so that the tailbone is long and points down to the ground. Let's be aware, are we stacking our shoulders above our hips? If you want to add a little challenge to balance, there's the option to gently do backward circles of your arms. We're moving from the shoulders rather than the wrists, and they can be little circles. They don't need to be very big. Meanwhile, are we feeling lots of strength in the top of that left thigh? Are we feeling lots of stretch in left inner thigh? Now let's hold our circle still. And can we take a little more weight to the outer edge of our right foot? Like we're pressing the whole little toe edge of that right foot down into the mat. And does that give us more stretch in outer ankle and calf of right leg? We're going to come back out of this to our runner's lunge. So let's take that right hand, inhale it up across the ceiling, and roll onto the toes of the right foot. We're back in runner's lunge. Did you feel the strength in the top of the left thigh release a bit? Okay, we'll bring our hands back down to our mat so that we can step the left foot back into our downward dog. Relax that left leg. Noticing that you may feel that the left leg has worked a whole lot harder than the right. We'll reverse our runner's lunge. So I like to look up to the hand. That way when I bring my knee forward, I know I'm not going to hit myself with my knee. And again, it can be several small steps using the arm, or it can be a great big step. You do what works for you. And then again, be welcome to use those yoga blocks or books. Our runner's lunge. Okay, think of rolling the shoulders back, reaching the heart center forward. Don't jut your chin, nice relaxed throat. Yeah, can you push back a little more with that left heel? And as you do, where do you feel the changes? Okay, we're going to do our extended side angle so you'll get to see it from the back. So now that back left foot turns sideways and flat. Right hand can stay to the block or right arm can prop across the thigh, your choice. And now we're going to inhale the point of the left shoulder, left ribs up to the sky. Up to you, left arm can extend straight up, or to complete the extended side angle, left arm can extend past your left ear. If you're able to practice where you have a mirror, can you see the nice long extended line from left fingertips down the arm, out the ribs and out that leg to the left ankle? Meanwhile, top of right thigh, those quadricep muscles are working to support us. From here, can we inhale to come up to our Warrior Two? Again, we want our tailbone down, so we're gently squeezing the glutes, pulling the belly together in front. We're making sure our shoulders are stacked above our hips. And we want our toes and our knee pointed in the same direction. This time, can we add gentle forward circles of the arms? Noticing, does adding a little movement of the arms affect our balance? Do we feel the deltoid muscles where our arms join our shoulders, working hard to create these circles? And is everybody breathing fully and deeply? If you caught yourself going, oops, holding your breath, that's okay, just start breathing. Now we'll stop the circles, enjoying the strength in the top of the thigh, the stretch in the inside of that right thigh. And now let's put a little weight to the little toe edge of that left foot, creating a little more length in outer ankle and calf. To come back out of it, we'll inhale, left arm up across the ceiling, roll onto the toes of that left foot. Oh, did you feel the right quadricep releasing some of its work? Okay, I prefer to see people use a block because sometimes I see people do this, their arms aren't quite long enough. Our knees were only designed to bend forward. Guess what? Our knuckles were not designed to bend backwards. So if you're, instead of trying to bend your knuckles backwards, steeple your fingers or make a fist or use something under the hands to help make those arms a little longer. And now this time, can we walk our our back left foot up to meet the right? If you can do it in one big step, do so. If you need to take several steps, do so. Our standing forward bend, we're trying to point our tailbone up to the sky. We're trying to relax the crown of our head down to the ground. Now, please let the entire foot support you. If we push our weight back on our heels and we stick our butt behind our heels, we think that balances us and we're not going to fall. The drawback to that is we tend to bend our knees backwards then. And we've already discussed that knees are only to bend forward. So shift your weight forward. Let your toes push into the floor to help keep you upright. And let those knees be straight or slightly soft. From here, we can sweep the arms out and back and up to come up to extended mountain. Good. Let's keep our tailbone down and lift our heart center up into upward facing salute. And breathe. And then on an exhale, we'll come back to center and gently release the arms out and down. Since we did a lot of strength for our quadricep muscles, the tops of our thighs, we will do dancer pose next, which is a standing on one foot balance pose, so that we can create some length, some stretch in those quadricep muscles in the tops of our thighs. Okay, so if you want to go where you can hold on to a wall or a table, you're welcome to do that. If you have longer legs than arms and it's not easy for you to hold your foot, you can hold your pants leg, or you can also loop your yoga strap around your foot. So I'll demonstrate with the strap. If you're using the strap, loop it around the left foot. Weight is to the right foot, right hand can hold the wall. Right knee is soft, and now we gently bend the left knee. I'm wrapping the strap around my hand so that I can roll my left shoulder back and use the strap to support my foot as I bend at the knee. Now notice, we'd like to keep our two knees aside of each other because that's how they would be if we stand. If your left knee's in front of your right, roll that left shoulder back and gently pull the arm back to help bring the knee back. Nice slow breaths. We're breathing in and out. Again, to help keep my lower back long and protected, I like to pull the belly button towards the backbone. I like to add a little gentle squeeze of those glutes that helps keep the tailbone pointed down so that I'm not arching the back. Because if you go like this, you lose the benefit of the stretch. So let's lengthen that spine. When you're ready, release the strap and come on down. Take a moment in mountain pose and notice the difference between left and right halves of your body. Okay. This time I won't use the strap. And if you had right hand to the wall for balance, maybe turn so that left hand can support the wall. This time as we take our weight to our left foot, remember knee is relaxed, And we find our balance and our focal point, and we bend our right knee. You can hold your pants leg, you can use your strap, you can hold your foot. Again, we're trying to engage abdominals and glutes. Engage means we're going to work them, we're going to squeeze them a little bit so that our tailbone is pointing down towards our left heel. We're stacking heel, hips, shoulders, and ears, maintaining our good posture. And our right hand is helping us keep our right knee directly aside of our left. Everybody still breathing slowly and deeply? If you caught yourself holding your breath, let's go back to breathing. And notice in your body, is your balance better on your left foot? Or is it better on your right foot? On an exhale, we'll release. And as you safely come back down again, take a moment in your mountain pose. Let's notice something. Remember when we laid on our back in corpse pose at the beginning? If I stand properly in mountain pose, and I do what's called the outer rotation of the shoulders, this is the outer rotation. Our day-to-day posture, which slouches, tends to be inner. We're rotating our shoulders in towards the center. Our proper posture with outer rotation sort of turns the palms of your hands slightly forward. Does this feel an awful lot like how your body would be laying on the floor in corpse pose? So corpse pose is laying on your back. Same body shape as when we stand in mountain pose. We just have our weight on a different part of our body. So from here, can we bring ourselves back down to sit to the mat, possibly without using our hands? Some folks find that they need to take one knee back and then the other. Some folks can sit down into a big squat and come down gently. Some folks like to cross their ankles. Some folks prefer to use their hands for safety. You do what works for you. And now it's time for our closing relaxation. So if you would like, go ahead, bend the knees, feet can be flat. If you'd like, hold your thighs. And we'll let ourselves gently roll through one vertebra at a time, through the small of the back, through the ribs, through the shoulders and the head. And then again, do mountain pose on the floor. We let our feet relax. Corpse pose, mountain pose, very, very similar. And notice how good it feels to surrender your body to the support of the mat. We're surrendering because we're no longer fighting gravity. Instead, we are letting gravity sink us down into the support of our yoga mat so that we can release all of the work and all of the effort that our muscles or our joints may have been doing earlier. And as we get comfortable in our closing relaxation, again, you're welcome to let those eyelids gently drift closed. And once more, return your focus to yourself, making sure that you're doing your slow, smooth inhales, filling the lungs fully, making sure that you're doing those longer, slower exhales to empty your lungs completely. And then as we return to those slow, steady breaths, just like you did at the beginning, scan through your body from head to toe, checking in with your muscles and your joints, noticing how does your body feel now compared to what you noticed an hour ago. Have we been able to gently release any tension or tightness? Have we been able to gently release any stiffness or soreness? Do we perhaps feel stronger or more limber? Do we perhaps feel a whole lot less stressed than we did an hour ago? And today, I'd like to leave you with a few words of wisdom. And that is, you can appreciate someone else's beauty without diminishing your own. You can appreciate someone else's beauty without diminishing your own. And it's a reminder that we can look at what other people are, or have, or do, or even how they appear, without feeling insecure about ourselves. Too often, if someone else seems to have something better than we have, we may end up feeling jealous, or resentful, or inadequate, or insecure. And that's not necessary. That's our own fear talking to ourselves. Instead, appreciate what someone else can do, maybe their talent. Appreciate what someone else has. Be happy for them if they've been able to buy a new car. Be happy for them when their children have great accomplishments. But don't let it diminish your own happiness. Always, always cultivate an attitude of gratitude for all the blessings that you are given. And allow someone else's happiness about their blessings help your own happiness grow. Learn to be happy for other people because they're happy with something that's happened in their lives, rather than feeling that what they're happy for needs to diminish yours. Appreciate someone else's beauty without diminishing your own. Instead, cultivate an attitude of gratitude, because the more you are grateful for the goodness that's in your life, and the more you can be grateful for the goodness that other people get to experience, the happier you will be, the more content you will be, the less negativity you will experience. So just learn to be happy for yourself and for others. As we allow those words of wisdom to seep into our conscious and our subconscious minds, we can return our awareness back to the exterior of our bodies, noticing those places where we're resting against the mat. As you're ready, we can start to bring movement gently back into the body, maybe moving fingers and toes, beginning to move hands and wrists and arms, beginning to move feet and ankles and legs, until eventually you feel that you are ready to open your eyes, to roll to one side, and perhaps use hands and arms to help gently bring you back up to a sitting position. And so today I'd like to thank everyone who's joining us live and in person. I'd like to thank you who are joining us via our YouTube channel. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us Yoga at the Community Arts Center with Adriann White. If you would like to join us in person, we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 o'clock and Tuesday evenings at 6. And we also do a chair yoga Wednesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. for folks who may have difficulty getting up and down from the floor. So to contact the Art Center, give us a call, 814-255-6515. Again, thank you.